yeah, let me champion you. So keep providing value and keep solving things.
Yeah, great, great. And if you don't, sometimes they can turn a little bit more adversarial or a little bit more negative. Yeah. So Rohan asks, um, how do wealth management and data science work with each other? I.e., how does data science help wealth management?
Well, in a lot of ways. Why? So in wealth management, there's a huge amount of data. And how do, let's take front office, right? Front office are the ones who are reaching out to clients to offer them investment advice. But which investment advice? How do they structure it?
Hmm.
How do they manage the risk of those clients? And how do those advisors make, you know, a data-driven decision of what investment product will fit their client based on their knowledge and experience. So data science help contextualize and make it easy for the advisors to understand. Okay, for this client, these are the parameters that I need, and then it helps build that story for them to act and be able to do their job. Because there's a lot of data out there, and if it's not organized, if it's not presented in a form where people or the advisors or the executive can understand what is the data telling me, what is the
Hmm.
story, what is the next step, then how can they run their business? How can they make clients invest if they can understand that? This is how your portfolio is performing. These are the potential investment product based on your risk profile. They cannot do that manually. They need to be a technology to support it, and data science is critical on enabling that or giving that insight to the advisors.
Yeah, wonderful. I think you're highlighting a lot of the current use cases, and I'm also optimistic that there's still a lot more use cases that can be solved. Data science and wealth management, I think, is still a growing field. Plenty of problems or pain points out there that can still be solved. But thank you for that. All right, I'm going to look down at some of the other questions. Thanks to Patrick and Rex for keeping the chat a little bit organized for me. Thank you so much. Um, I think this question, Laura Sell, is around unpaid internships.
Mhm.
Hello, I am from India. Here, a trend has started of unpaid internships, mostly at startups. Then they will consider a full time according to performance. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, how long is the unpaid internship? No, no,
Um,
no, no. It's a rhetorical question. So think
okay.
about that. How long is the unpaid internship? What are you going to learn? Are you interested in learning about the business, learning about the industry? Because if you're a data science analyst is going to join or perform, then you need to be able to understand what is the business doing and how can data help, scale that. If you have other choices of a high paying job, fine, or this unpaid internship, but the high paying job, you're not really going to learn a lot. Well, take that risk in your career. Start with find unpaid, but also give yourself a timeline. How long? How long will you? Because you got to pay the bills. You need to be
Sure.
realistic. If you can afford, why not? It's like you're paying for tuition, but then instead of paying money for tuition to learn something, to gain practical experience, you're paying with your time. You're paying with your work, and that's an investment. If you join that startup for what, 2 months, 3 months, but you learn the end-to-end business. What are they doing? How are they scaling? What are the skills in data science that you've learned? Then you can use that, or even start your own business, or whichever, or take that, use it as a project. Here's what I've delivered for this startup, and these are the skills that I've learned. Here's what you can offer to companies that you're going to apply for. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good advice. Um, at the same time, though, I think it's also you got to be careful who you're going to be learning from, right? You want to make sure that those are good mentors,
True.
because you can easily waste the same 2 months on people that just don't have their act together, right?
Mm-hmm.
That happens too. But yeah, but I think your message on, gaining that experience and kind of, paying your dues a little bit is well received. So,
Mhm.
guys, as a reminder, if you have questions for Laura Sell, you go ahead and put them in the chat. It's a great question so far, guys. So feel free to put them in the chat. Yeah, you're welcome to ask about careers or data, wealth management, or even just advancement in your career. Laura Sell has had tremendous advancement in her career. She's at the director level, so feel free to keep on asking questions there. So how Leo asks if they can follow you on LinkedIn, but I think you prefer Instagram. So give us your Instagram again, Laura Sell.
Sure, follow me on LinkedIn, but Instagram is for any art-related pursuit that I have. It's at Pat a Polar Bear Paints.
Pat a Polar Bear Paints
Yeah,
on Instagram, guys. So that's the best way to support and follow Laura Sell. So let me go down to the next question by Rex. Um, what kind of online projects for a portfolio would make a candidate for an entry level position in wealth management stand out?
a portfolio, as in what type of portfolio? Like a project portfolio, an investment portfolio?
I believe he means a project portfolio. Yes.
Well, I think what makes you stand out is what are you interested? What are you passionate about? Is there any industry or that you can tie back into wealth management? So focus on like a small problem, or this is how I would say, focus on a small problem in wealth management, do your research, produce a project that you can tell as a story or contextualize that your interviewer can relate to and how it will solve pain points in wealth management.
Hmm. Okay, that's an interesting intersection to take your personal interests and develop something of that, but still address it towards something specifically within wealth management.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of commonalities. It's like and
Hmm.
make it like a story that they can relate to and that they can picture what you did integrated or related to how they're going to solve their problem in wealth management.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So Rex, I hope that answers your question. Um, Joseph asks, how will the wealth management industry be impacted by AI in the future? Where do you see that going, Lauracel?
I think it's now.
Hmm.
We need to be, yeah, wealth management need to maximize AI now. Say, for example, an advisor, right? An advisor has what, 30, 40 clients. How can that advisor scale and call or reach or deepen the client engagement that they have for all of those? When you have AI, uh, we have this like fintech that who was demoing to us that they can contextualize at the start of your day. It can already show you, hey, Lorasol advisor, for your 40 clients, here are the top 5, 10 clients that you should be calling today. Why?
Hmm.
Based on the recent news or market data events, here's how it's impacting their portfolio. Here are the opportunities that you can discuss with them. And this is, I don't know, if you can use a portfolio rebalancing and understand that if we change the allocations of their portfolio based on these market events, and these are then the probable profit and loss or risk exposure that they're had, and then you can reach out to your client. Without AI, you can use, multiple different tools, but you still have to work for it yourself. But that's why you need to maximize AI now to make yourself efficient to scale your business. And if AI is not yet integrated into the company, well, there's nobody stopping you. Learn. There's a
Hmm.
lot of courses out there. Learn different AI tools that are out there. Experiment. And if it's not in your company, produce something on your personal environment, personal time, personal portfolio that,
Yeah.
oh, here are AI apps that I love. And here's a problem that similar to the
Yeah.
former question, like, here's a problem that I saw, and here's how I use these AI tools to solve for that, and then give it for free.
Hmm.
Uh, just and then that's gonna increase your engagement, increase eyeballs on you, or increase attention span for you when you go for your interviews.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you on that. It's funny because I still come across on Twitter or different things that come across my feed from various influencers. particularly in the software field where they keep on saying, "Oh, well, AI is still a few years away," or it's not going to replace it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. Where I look at those and I think it's already happening. Like, what are you talking about? It's years away. Like it's now. You should be preparing. You should be preparing now. So yeah, I totally hear you on that. That all these industries they're basically ready for AI. They're just not creative enough to know it, or aware enough to know it. But I totally agree with you that the time is now for that.
especially with startups, because
Sure.
it's easier to integrate it on startup, I think. But
Hmm.
for wealth management, like huge wealth management, it takes time because there's a certain level of process that needs to be followed, approval, funding, workflows. It takes time to really integrate it. But if you're in a smaller company or in your personal time, learn as much already.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, the startups give you that more of that flexibility to be able to, shift from product to product and what you can't always do that at a large company. So I hear you on that. There's definitely an advantage there for the startups.